Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So yesterday I was on a rage talking about fat and denial of fat and get in line with your fat and people are fat and all the fat things. And then today I was going to actually talk about the consequences of fat, including cancer. But the big C in cancer is there are so many forms of cancer. And also people are in the middle of suffering from it, and I don't need to add to your detriment. I really just want to give you tools to turn it around if you're a person suffering from fat, which has certainly been my story for a long time. And we're in the middle of a challenge right now where we're not weighing ourselves, we're actually measuring parts of our body and seeing if we can either reduce the inches or increase the inches if indeed you're already thin and you're just trying to strengthen yourself. So one of the earlier videos I did on that was on the importance of reducing belly fat and what's referred to in particular as visceral fat, which is the deep fat that surrounds your organs. And that can lead to a boatload of trouble, okay? So I definitely have other videos on that. And if you just put in belly fat or just fat maybe in Jules Blessed Vegan, you'll find a couple of them. But what I really always want to do is empower you for change and help you see what you can do about it, because we can talk all day long about the problem, but people many times told me if I didn't turn it around, I was going to die. And I just felt like, fine, pick out my coffin, because I am not in a position to turn it around. I'm so addicted. And sadly, I slipped a couple weeks ago and I have been struggling like no one's business. It has been insane. And I am so sorry for that. It's just easier to stay on plan, most certainly. So I really get it. I didn't expect my body to be raging as bad as it is, but it is. It absolutely is. And one other thing was that when I weighed like 350 and even like 280 and stuff, my body's one of those that just tends to get bigger all over. There's not like just one part. My shoulders get wider, my hips get wider, my butt gets bigger. My stomach gets bigger at the same time. My breasts get bigger. I'm not like one of those people who is flat-chested and a really big body. Like all of me gets bigger. So I didn't have a sense that my belly was a particular problem because all of me was enlarged. But as I've been dropping the weight and certainly been exercising and things, though I can see that my stomach is super strong and I probably have a lovely six-pack, it's buried in fat and it's belly fat, there's no doubt. So that's been really interesting to just kind of get in touch with that body. So I know the importance of getting rid of what's referred to as visceral fat, that deep fat that surrounds the organ and causes trouble. And so this is actually a fantastic article by Healthline.com. I really love Healthline, though they do tend to reference testing on animals, which I don't like. What I do like about them is for each section, they have a summary. So if you're not a reader, you can simply scroll down to the summary for each section, and more often than not, they have a bottom line. And I am a bottom line girl. So this is called 6 Simple Ways to Lose Belly Fat Based on Science. So important. So it says losing abdominal fat or belly fat is a common weight loss goal. Abdominal fat is particularly harmful. Research suggests strong links with disease like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And there's a hyperlink if you want to know more. For this reason, losing this fat can have significant benefits for your health and well-being. You can measure your abdominal fat by measuring the circumference around your waist. And that's what I'm talking about. We're totally trying to lose inches. Go to the 99-cent store, get one of those fabric tapes, and measure the circumference around your waist. If it's more than 40 inches for a man or 35 for a woman, it is known as abdominal obesity. Again, a hyperlink. Certain weight loss strategies can target the fat in the belly area more than other areas of the body. A lot of people say you can't focus on one area of the body. You simply have to lose all over, which is great. But this suggests that you actually can. Let's see what's up. So it says here are 6 evidence-based ways to lose belly fat. Number 1, avoid sugar and sugar-sweetened drinks. Foods with added sugars are bad for your health, and eating a lot of these types of food can cause weight gain. Studies show that added sugar has uniquely harmful effects on metabolic health, and that visceral fat is affecting metabolic. It's all about metabolic health. So numerous studies have indicated that excess sugar, mostly due to large amounts of fructose, can lead to fat building up around your around your abdomen and liver. Now, some people are going to say fructose. Wait a minute, isn't that fruit sugar? So should I avoid sugar? Like eating fruit? No. Let's all calm down. And again, it's a hyperlink. You're welcome to read more, which I certainly chose to do because I was saying, wait, fructose sugar is really good for you. Those are good carbs. What it's saying is the amount of fructose or natural sugar that occurs in fruit is minimal. Unfortunately, what they do is they take that same fructose, highly concentrated, and they pull it out and combine it with glucose, which has to be processed through the liver, and they literally take what essentially becomes 50% of just table sugar. That's what it becomes when they create that. Between the glucose and the fructose and the processing, suddenly 50% is basically table sugar, and that is a huge problem. So this has nothing to do with the amount of natural fructose that occurs in fresh fruit or even vegetables, which have a minimum amount, okay? So it says sugar is half glucose and half fructose. And when you eat a lot of added sugar, the liver gets overloaded with fructose and is forced to turn it into fat. Yeah, if your body doesn't know when to burn it off, glucose burns it off naturally. If your body can't burn it off, it lovingly stores it for another day. And mine has loved me so much that it has stored it all over the place. Some believe that this is the main process behind sugar's harmful effects on health. It increases abdominal fat and liver fat, which leads to insulin resistance and various metabolic problems. And that's just your body's inability to process. It doesn't even know what to do. It can't even figure out the insulin or how to process it. So liquid sugar is worse in this regard, meaning in drinks, right? The brain doesn't seem to register liquid calories in the same way as solid calories. So when you drink sugar-sweetened beverages, you end up eating more total calories. And to me, that's a no-brainer. I have a tremendous capacity to drink. Okay, that didn't come out right. Yes, I used to drink alcohol. I don't anymore and haven't for years. But, I drink 16 cups of water a day. If something is sweet, yes, there's no registering at all. I guzzle it down like I do anything else. So, of course, it equals more calories. A study observed that children were 60% more likely to develop obesity with each additional daily serving of sugar-sweetened beverages. So parents, certainly grandparents who have access to their grandchildren. Oh my gosh, let's read that again. A study observed that children were 60% more likely to develop obesity with each additional daily serving of sugar-sweetened beverages. Just each serving. Try minimizing the amount of sugar in your diet and consider completely eliminating sugary drinks. This includes sugar-sweetened beverages, sugary sodas, fruit, juices, and various high-sugar sports drinks. Read the labels to make sure products do not contain refined sugars. Even foods marketed as health foods can contain significant amounts of sugar. Keep in mind that none of this applies to whole fruit. Can you hear that again for all those who panicked when they heard the word fructose? Keep in mind that none of this applies to whole fruit, which are extremely healthy and have plenty of fiber that mitigates the negative effects of fructose. Yay, God. All right, of course, there's a summary. Excess sugary consumption may be the primary driver of excess fat in the abdomen and liver. This is particularly true of sugary beverages like soft drinks. And I'm so glad I'm over all of that. Number 2, eat more protein. Now, let's remember that protein comes from plants and that the only reason animals even have a portion for you is from the plants they consumed. So obviously, as a raw vegan, plant-based vegan, I will get my protein from plants. But let's read it anyway. Protein, again a hyperlink, may be the most important macronutrient for weight loss. Research shows it can reduce cravings by 60%, boost metabolism by 80 to 100 calories per day, and help you eat up to 441 fewer calories per day. And there are a gazillion hyperlinks if you'd like to learn more about that. Let's go again. It reduces cravings by 60%, boosts metabolism by 80 to 100 calories a day. So that might not seem like that much, right? But that's 700 calories in a week simply by eating more protein. And of course, 7 times 4, 2,800, 7 times 5, 3,500. You could easily just lose a pound by increasing your protein over a few weeks, right? If weight loss is your goal, adding protein may be the single most effective change that you can make to your diet. Not only can protein help you to lose weight, but it may also help you avoid regaining weight. Another study indicated that protein was linked to a significantly reduced chance of abdominal fat gain over 5 years, over a 5-year period. Protein may be particularly effective in reducing abdominal fat. And one study showed that people who ate more and more protein had much less abdominal fat. The study also linked refined carbs and oils to more abdominal fat and linked fruit and vegetables to reduced fat. Don't you love that? SOS, people, stay off of sugar, oil, and salt, and you will be well on your way. So refined carbs and oils added to fat, fruit and vegetables reduced abdominal fat. Many of the studies observing the protein helps with weight loss had people getting 25 to 30% of their calories from protein. Therefore, this may be a good range to try. Try increasing your intake of high protein foods. Again, they're going to recommend a bunch of stuff that I do not agree with, but it does say whole eggs and fish. Those are a no for me. Legumes, nuts. Again, that has to be seriously in moderation. You have to think about that. Meat and dairy products, those are a no for me. But I don't know where you are on your walk. These are best protein sources for your diet. When following a vegetarian or vegan diet, click this article on how to increase your protein intake. One moment, please. I'm going to click on that, I pray. Because, this is the 17 best sources of protein. My friends, that is an article for another day, as in tomorrow. We'll learn about some good sources. When following a vegetarian forgive me, I'm off right here. Okay. If you struggle with getting enough protein in your diet, a quality protein supplement may help. I'm going to forego all of that. Okay, next one. Eat fewer carbohydrates. Again, I am a high carb, low fat, raw vegan. So let's see what they're talking about here. Eating fewer carbs can be effective. I think this is like the whole keto nonsense, which I don't support. Supported by numerous studies, when people cut their carbs, their appetite goes down. More than 20 randomized controlled studies now show that low carb diets sometimes lead to 2 to 3 times more weight loss, and low fat diets. The thing is, a lot of people cannot maintain those for any amount of time, and when they get off of them, they rebound like crazy. So low carb diets also lead to quick reductions in weight loss. Again, they might get a quick response, but it's nothing they can maintain. Studies comparing low carb and low fat diets indicate that low carb eating specifically reduces fat in the abdomen. Just avoiding the refined carbs like sugar, candy, and white bread should be sufficient, especially if you keep your protein intake high. If the goal is to lose weight fast, some people reduce their carb intake to 50 grams per day. Again, I'm not a keto girl. I am literally high carb, meaning from fruits, 80% from fruits. I'm kind of an 80-10-10 girl. High carb, low fat, again, keeping it at 10-10. Low protein, keeping it at 10. So I don't know what your story is, but feel free to read this part. Doesn't work for me. Okay, number 4, eat fiber-rich foods. Yes, please. Eating plenty of fiber can help with weight loss. However, the type of fiber is important. It appears that mostly the soluble and viscous fiber have an effect on your weight. These are fibers that bind water and form a thick gel that sits in your gut. This gel can dramatically slow the movement of food through your digestive system, and it can also slow down the digestion and absorption of nutrients. The end result is a prolonged feeling of fullness and reduced appetite. One review study found that additional 14 grams of fiber per day were linked to a 10% decrease in calorie intake and weight loss of around 4.5 pounds over a 4-month period. Many people would welcome that. 4.5 pounds in 4 months. Why not, right? One 5-year study reported that eating 10 grams of soluble fiber per day was linked to a 3.7% reduction in the amount of fat in the abdominal cavity. This implies that soluble fiber may be particularly effective at reducing harmful belly fat. The best way to get more fiber, wait for it, because I hope you know there's no fiber in dead meat. Do you know that? I pray you know that. The best way to get more fiber is to eat a lot of plant foods, including vegetables and fruit. What? Legumes are also a good source, especially sprouted, right? As well as some cereals such as whole oats. You can also try taking a fiber supplement, of course. All right. Number 5, exercise regularly. So yes, especially things like rebounding, right? So exercise is among the best things you can do to increase your chances of living a long, healthy life and avoiding disease. Helping to reduce abdominal fat is among the amazing health benefits of exercise, which is a hyperlink. This doesn't mean doing abdominal exercises like for spot reduction, losing fat in one spot. It's not possible. Yay, I'm so glad they agree with that. It's completely true. In one study, 6 weeks of training, just the abdominal muscles had no measurable effect on waist circumference or the amount of fat in the abdominal cavity. Weight training and cardiovascular exercise will reduce fat across the whole body. Aerobic exercise like walking, running, and swimming can allow major reductions in abdominal fat. Another study found that exercise completely prevented people from regaining abdominal fat after weight loss, implying that exercise is a particularly important way to help maintain weight loss management. Exercise also leads to reduced inflammation, lower blood sugar levels, and improvement in other metabolic problems associated with excessive abdominal fat. And of course, just moving that lymphatic system, which is, again, why it's so great to do something like rebounding, because it just keeps your whole body healthier. All right, was that it? Nope, number 6, last one. Track your food intake. Every time I get off plan, it's because I've suddenly forgotten to write down any of the food that I've eaten, miraculously, right? Until I'm wearing the bad choices, which just happened recently. Okay, it's a learning curve, and curve is right. Curvy. All right. So most people know that what you eat is important, but many don't know specifically what they're eating, okay? A person might think that they're eating a high protein and low carb diet, but without keeping track, it's easy to overestimate or underestimate food intake. Tracking food intake doesn't mean that you need to weigh and measure everything you eat, but tracking intake every now and then for a few days in a row can help you to realize the most important areas for change. Planning ahead can help you achieve specific goals, such as boosting your protein intake to that 25 to 30% margin of calories, or cutting down on unhealthy carbs, not the ones derived from fruit. Okay, so you can check out the additional articles they have on Calorie Calculator or free online tools and apps to track what you're eating. Bottom line, abdominal fat or belly fat is linked to an increased risk of certain diseases. Most people can reduce their abdominal fat through taking on key lifestyle changes, such as eating a healthy diet packed with lean protein, plant-based protein, vegetables and fruit, and legumes, and exercising regularly. Rebounding, right? Cool. Anyway, that's it, my friends. Couple of ways. Let's go back through really quickly and just say what those top 6 topics were that can specifically help you, science-based, on reducing that visceral stomach fat. So important, and I'm nowhere near, okay, but I'm going to get there, and I'm certainly way better than I was 150 pounds ago. Okay, so number 1, avoid sugar and sugar-sweetened drinks, for sure. Number 2, eat more protein. 25% is the goal. Number 3, eat fewer carbohydrates, meaning the ones that aren't as good for you. And number 4, almost, eat fiber-rich foods. So yes, and again, they suggested whole fruits as being one of the greatest fiber-rich ones. Number 5, exercise regularly for just overall good health. And number 6, to actually track your food intake so that you can even assess what you need to improve on. All right, my friends, instead of going to the negative, I hope that'll empower you to make some changes to help yourself out. As always, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you in your food journey, in your spiritual life, whatever it is, I got you. And know that I am praying for the planet. Because the United States, though it's very small, and we're just a baby in the number of years we've been here, we have an effect on the world. And so will our election tomorrow. So prayers all around. Stay safe, people. I hope you chose to vote to honor yourself, right? And until we talk again, best of all, know that you are blessed.